In the previous video, I exposed the martyr, and I just want to make a follow-up video to share how that same pattern of martyrdom shows up as a mother or a father or in your marriage, your significant relationship. And it's the same pattern, but it can be more subtle. So let's take the role of the mother, and we can look at it through this pattern, or as the pattern of the martyr, the mother that does it all. Again, this overperforming, the need to be seen as the one that's doing it all, carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, putting everyone's needs before herself. Perhaps she has 2 or 3 kids, a husband, and you see this family is always put before herself. So she's operating from an empty cup. She's exhausted from operating from emptiness, from lack. But this overperforming is a way of proving herself, proving her worth. She equates effort to worth, or she's earning her worth through effort. She can't relax because she feels guilty when she relaxes. As soon as she sits down on the couch, the guilt arises. There's laundry to do. The floors are dirty. She has to prepare lunches for the kids tomorrow for school, or put dinner on the table for her husband who's coming home from work. This guilt prevents her from truly relaxing. There's a resistance to relaxing. She refuses to receive other family members, her husband, reach out, offer their help, their assistance, their support. Could be by helping to wash the floors, or help out with laundry, or put the kids to bed, or whatever it is. But she's refusing to receive support. She's refusing to receive. There's a block. And one can't say that they're doing it all if they are receiving help, receiving support. One cuts down that workload by sharing it with their husband, their spouse, their partner. Then you see it threatens that identity. The overachiever, the one that does it all. There's this overcompensation. All this effort is an overcompensation pattern. Overcompensating for not feeling whole. Overcompensating is like a coping mechanism. To be running around, doing everything, busy, busy, busy. One doesn't sit with their emotions. She doesn't feel her emotions. Be truly present because she's running around, doing everything. There could be shame. Mentioned there's guilt. And again, just like in the last video, there's a fear of what others think. What are other people gonna think if I really allow myself to relax, to receive? Are other people gonna think that I'm a bad mother, that I'm incapable, that I'm lazy? Do I really deserve to relax, to rest? And you see, when we refuse to relax or rest, then we stay in this state where we're truly not full of energy. We stay in the exhausted state where the mother is typically burnt out because she hasn't come back to the source of who she is through relaxing, through opening, through receiving. That ability to surrender. But that surrender is being resisted. There's a resistance to surrendering. And that is the performance that's happening. She lives in a way that everything feels like a sacrifice. She may have sacrificed so much for her kids, for her husband, and inside there may be quiet resentment for this sacrifice. Likewise with a father, the same pattern. It might not look like the household activities, but often there's that sacrifice as the provider, the protector, the one who's going to work every day to support his family, doing anything by any means necessary to put food on the table. And the sacrifice for his family, just like the mother, comes at a cost, the cost of self-abandonment. He's lost himself in his career, his job, his work, and always putting his family's needs first. He forgets his own needs. And just like the mother, he too is operating from emptiness, an empty cup. He's not living as wholeness. He's not experiencing the fullness of himself. His service is coming from lack. It's not an overflow of what he is. So he too is burnt out, drained, exhausted. And there can be a silent or quiet resentment that often happens when one abandons themselves. It's sort of like not taking care of yourself, not being with yourself. You forget yourself. That's why the return is like a homecoming. And to live, let's kind of segue, to live without that pattern of martyrdom is to no longer abandon yourself. It doesn't mean that you stop being a mother or a father. It just means that in that role of the mother, in the role of the father, you're no longer abandoning yourself. And when you no longer abandon yourself, then that is the embodiment of your true self. That is the expression of your true self. And here's the irony, is that when you no longer abandon yourself, you're actually the best mother. You're actually the best father. That role is elevated. It's fulfilled. You become a better mother. You become a better father when you're no longer abandoning yourself. Your true self shines. It expresses fully through that role, as that role. And this could be, I won't go into details to make the video too long, but this is the same for, let's say, a husband or a wife, the devoted wife, the devoted husband, the loving mother, or the loving husband, the loving wife. The same sort of thing, overgiving, overperforming, breaking your back for your partner. It can look like people pleasing. It can look like chasing your partner, overperforming. This overperforming, this chasing, it's an overcompensation. That overcompensation, again, it's like a coping mechanism for not being able to return home to yourself. You continue to abandon yourself and you get enmeshed, entangled with your partner to the point where you forget yourself. You've lost yourself in the romantic relationship. So it's not about abandoning the relationship, just like it's not about abandoning the role of the mother or the father, but it's about no longer overcompensating. And you're no longer overcompensating because you've returned back to yourself. You're embodying your power, and that's why you no longer overcompensate. You're not afraid to be who you truly are. So there's no coping. You're embodying your power. You're not seeking your power. You're embodying love. You're no longer seeking love. And you see in this way, the same as the mother or the father, that by you not abandoning yourself any longer, you actually become a better wife, a better husband. It won't be the way that you think it will. The improvement won't be how you think it will be. It'll be energetic. And you'll see that just by being your true self, you will be the greatest service to your partner, to your family. So perhaps you're feeling, sensing, noticing this distortion, this imbalance, this pattern that we're labeling the martyrdom pattern. Perhaps the pattern is being exposed within yourself. And perhaps you're ready to transform. And if you are, I invite you to join me in truth, to transform yourself, to transform your life.